Before Egypt raised its pyramids, before Stonehenge marked the skies, there was Sumer, in the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. More than 6,000 years ago, humanity's first known civilization appeared. The Sumerians built vast cities, invented writing, mapped the heavens, and worshipped strange gods who, they claimed, descended from the sky. But where did they come from? How could a people at the dawn of history leap so suddenly into civilization? Their ruins whisper brilliance, but their origins remain an unanswered riddle. To walk among their crumbling temples today is to stand at the threshold of human history, and to feel that something about their story is still missing. Mesopotamia's fertile crescent gave life to Sumer. The rivers provided rich soil, but also floods and famine. To survive, the Sumerians built canals, dikes, and irrigation systems that turned the plains into farmland. Out of this struggle rose cities Eridu, Ur, Lagash, Nippur, and above all, Uruk, a city that may have held 50,000 people when much of the world lived in tribes. Uruk's towering ziggurat rose like a mountain on the flat plain, while markets bustled with trade and scribes etched contracts into clay. Civilization had begun, and it seemed to appear almost overnight. Archaeology shows no slow transition from tribes to towns, just the sudden brilliance of cities. Where did this leap come from? Were the Sumerians brilliant innovators forced by their harsh environment to invent quickly? Or were they heirs to knowledge far older, preserved after some forgotten catastrophe? Their own stories hint at both possibilities. They claim their cities were planned and blessed by gods themselves, as though human hands merely carried out divine blueprints. The Sumerians were pioneers in nearly every field we associate with civilization. Writing. With cuneiform, they transformed simple pictographs into symbols that carried sound, meaning, and law. They recorded trade contracts, hymns, epic tales, even jokes. More than 500,000 tablets survive, though many remain unread. Without Sumer, there would be no written history, only fading memory. Mathematics and time. Their number system, based on 60, gave us the 60 minutes in an hour and the 360 degrees in a circle. Their calculations underlie geometry, astronomy, and navigation. Every glance at a clock is a whisper from Sumer. Astronomy. They tracked the stars with baffling precision, charting the moon's cycles, the paths of planets, even the tilt of Earth's axis, millennia before telescopes. Some records seem almost impossible for their time. Did they really calculate all this by naked eye observation? Or were they preserving fragments of knowledge older than their civilization itself? Law, the code of Ur-Nammu, older than Hammurabi's, set punishments and responsibilities, the first attempt to place justice into writing. Law became memory, not whim, and fairness, though imperfect, became part of society's foundation. Architecture. Their ziggurats rose above the flat plains, colossal stairways to heaven, part temple, part observatory. They embodied humanity's longing to touch the divine. Medicine. They cataloged diseases and remedies, some strikingly effective. They used willow bark for pain, echoing modern aspirin. Did they stumble upon this, or inherit knowledge from earlier sources? The scope of their genius is staggering. Within a few centuries, they gave humanity the tools of civilization. It feels less like a beginning than a continuation of something older, now lost. More mysterious still are the gods the Sumerians worshipped. Their pantheon was vast, and the sky god, Enlil, god of storms, Enki, god of wisdom, and Inanna, goddess of love and war. But towering above them all were the Anunnaki, those who from heaven came. According to their tablets, the Anunnaki descended to earth, shaped humanity, and taught the arts of civilization. Humans, they wrote, were created from clay mixed with divine essence, made to labor for the gods. To the Sumerians, this was not myth, it was history. The Epic of Gilgamesh, humanity's first great epic, preserved their stories. Gods who walked among men, heroes who sought immortality, and a great flood that nearly ended the world. The tale of Utnapishtim, saved from the deluge by a god's warning to build a great boat, predates Noah by thousands of years. Did these stories preserve a memory of real catastrophe, an ancient flood that reshaped human destiny? Some scholars see allegory, others suspect deeper origins. Were the Anunnaki simply deities of storm, sky, and river, or memories of beings the Sumerians believed had truly descended from above? This is where history blurs into myth and myth into something stranger. Beyond myths and monuments, the Sumerians lived richly human lives. Farmers grew barley, wheat, onions, and dates. Barley became bread, and beer, the latter consumed daily, often safer than river water. Merchants traded textiles and grain across Mesopotamia, even reaching India. Families lived in mud brick houses with courtyards for cooking and workshops. Women could own property, act as priestesses, and run businesses, though society was patriarchal. Children studied in tablet schools, where scribes in training copied signs until their hands ached. Education was strict, punishments harsh, but literacy carried immense prestige. Their music filled temples, lyres, harps, and flutes accompanied hymns to the gods. Their art depicted feasts, battles, and rituals, leaving images of a world both practical and divine. Medicine blended herbs with incantations, science with magic, and healing with prayer. Life expectancy was short, 30 to 40 years, but their society was vibrant. They lived in rhythm with their gods, their rivers, and the stars overhead. And even in their daily routines, traces of mystery appear. Tablets with astronomical insights too advanced, remedies too precise. Were they simply observant or guardians of forgotten wisdom? By 2000 BC, the brilliance of Sumer began to dim. Irrigation salted the soil, reducing harvests. City-states, always rivals, exhausted themselves with endless wars. Then came outsiders. Around 2334 BC, Sargon of Akkad forged the first empire, conquering Sumer. Later came the Gutians, Amorites, and Elamites, waves of invaders who destabilized the land. Briefly, under Ur-Nammu, the Sumerians revived, his ziggurat at Ur rising like a stairway to heaven. But it was a final flame. By 1900 BC, their language had died, replaced by Akkadian. Their myth survived, reshaped by Babylonians and Assyrians. Their gods lived on, renamed and retold, but the Sumerians themselves were gone. The first civilization had vanished, leaving only ruins and clay to speak for them. How could such brilliance fade so quickly? Was it climate change, a megadrought that swept the Near East? Was it endless war and division? Or was it something deeper, some event erased from memory? Their disappearance remains as mysterious as their origin. Yet even in silence, their influence endured. Writing, without Sumer, there's no record, no history. Law, their codes shaped later justice. From Hammurabi to Rome. Time, every minute, every second, every degree of a circle is theirs. Astronomy, their star maps informed Babylonian, Greek, and modern science. Myth, their flood, their gods, their epics echo in the Bible, in Homer, in stories still told today. Cities, the very model of urban life. The market, the temple, the bureaucracy was born in Sumer. They disappeared as a people, but their ideas became immortal. They were forgotten for centuries, but their legacy became the foundation of the human story. The Sumerians are a paradox. The first civilization and the first to vanish. For thousands of years, no one remembered them. Only in the 19th century, when scholars cracked the code of cuneiform, did their voice return. Suddenly, clay tablets spoke of gods, laws, and dreams from 5 millennia ago. And yet, their return brought more questions than answers. How did they rise so quickly? Why did they disappear so completely? Were their gods only myths or memories? Were they the beginning of civilization or survivors of something older? To stand among their ruins today is to feel both awe and unease. Awe at their brilliance, unease at the silence that followed. They remind us that civilization is fragile, that greatness can vanish, and that history is never as simple as it seems. Perhaps that is their true gift, not only writing, law, and time, but mystery itself. A mystery that keeps us digging, questioning, and imagining. The Sumerians were the first, and in many ways, they are still with us. They are the first, the brilliant, the forgotten, and perhaps the most mysterious civilization the world has ever known.